Yes, dear students, today we are moving on to the next topic in business management. We were in the previous classes. We were discussing about planning process, and now we are going to the next area, that is a different types of plans. So actually we have different types of plans on the basis of its usage, that is whether it is a multi-use plan or whether it's a single-use plan. So some plans are actually single-use plans. That means they will be used only for one particular purpose, but some other plans are drafted and they are used again and again. Such type of plans are known as multi-use plans. So we will see in detail about these single-use plans and multi-use plans now. So when we think about these multi-use plans, the main multi-use plans that we commonly come across are objectives, then the strategies, policies and procedures and rules in an organization. So all these things, that is objectives, then policies, procedures, rules, rules, all these things are actually multi-use plans. So these things are prepared in advance in an organization, and they will be used again and again for effective running of a business organization, or for any other organization also these things are applicable, as you know. But when we come to the single-use plans, so the single-use plans like programs, budgets, schedules, then projects, methods, so all these are actually single-use plans. That means these budgets and programs, or the policy projects, methods, all these things are actually prepared in advance, and they will be used only for once. That is for a particular purpose only that will be used, and that is a peculiarity of the single-use plans. So when we come to the multi-use plans, the prominent one is objectives. So what is objective? Actually, when we take any organization, we can see every organization will have an objective. Actually, the objectives are commonly known like aim, or like mission, or target. Okay, all these words are used interchangeably for the word objective. So if you consider any organization, any business organization, they will have, or any, even you take example of any education institution or health institution, you can see that each of these institutions will have a specific target objective, or such such and such things. Okay, so that is a peculiarity of objective. So what is actually an objective? It's the stated purpose for which an organization is established, and what that organization is striving to achieve. So that is an objective of an organization. So actually that is a multi-use plan, because every time an organization will not be changing its objective. At the time of establishment of a business organization, an organization will be having an objective, stated objective, and that stated objective will be used by the organization every time or continuously. So that is a peculiarity of objective. It will be used again and again. That is for every period or every time that objective will be there. So if you take any business organization, you can see the stated objective. For example, you take the example of Indian Railway, or you take the example of Milma, or you take the example of KSRTC, or every organization will have an objective. So it's actually a long-term plan. That's the stated objective of establishment of that organization. So that is a objective, and for that particular purpose that organization is trying to achieve every time. So it's a multi-use plan. That is, whenever the organization do the things, that will be the target of the organization. Okay, once again I will simply explain that thing once again. That is what is an objective. you take the example of an education institution. For example, you take St. George's College, Arivithura. So St. George's College, Arivithura is a education institution, and that education institution have an objective, stated objective. So it's a plan that is well set in advance. So whenever the teachers, whenever the management do things or plan the things, that objective will be in front of that management, principal or teachers. Whenever the teachers or management take decisions regarding the students or regarding the society or regarding the education academic things, because it's a long term plan. That's the objective of this St. George's College, Arivithura is a long term plan or it's a long term objective for which the institution is working or is established. So that's the objective. Now we will see the characteristics of this objective. So an organization may have multiple or several objectives. That is maybe there may be an organization may be having more than one objective. It's okay. It's because an education may have more than one objective. Then second thing is that objectives have a time span. That is the objectives may be short term objective and long term objective. For example, business organization may have a short term objective and a long term objective. That is a short term objective is the objective which is to be achieved in a short span, and long term objective is the objective that is to be achieved in the long run. Okay, so in such a way the institution or business entity may have short term or long term objectives. Then again, the objectives may form a hierarchy. Hierarchy means the first thing that is to be achieved, or the first objective, the main objective, that is at the topmost, the most prioritized objective, and the least prioritized objective. Okay, the first ranked objective and the least ranked objective. Such a way, an institution may have hierarchy of objective. So that's another thing, another characteristics of these objectives. Then again, the objectives may be broad objective and a specific objective. That is, sometimes the institution may state its objectives in a broad way, that is in a common way, it's a normal way. But again, the institution may have a specific objective also, unique and specific objective. The to the point objective may be there for the institution. So such a way, there may be broad and specific objectives. Then there may be tangible and intangible objective. Tangible, we know, that can be touched. Objectives that can be touched, that can be attained in a material way. That is a tangible objective. But there are intangible objectives that may not be, that we cannot touch and we cannot attain it in a realistic way. That is intangible objectives. Okay. Then we may have objectives may have priority, that we have already discussed. That is there is hierarchy of objectives is there. Then objectives may be changed in due course. So of course, as the time passes, there may be changes in the objectives of an organization. So once an institution may be established for a specific purpose, but as there is a globalization and some other changes in the economy, there may be changes in the state, the initial objective, there may be changes. So that is a possible thing. So there may be changes in the objectives also. So these are the characteristics of objectives. And next is the essentials of objectives. So next discussion is on essentials of objectives. So the essentials of objectives, that it must be a clear and specific thing. So the stated objectives must be clear and precise. That's one important thing. It should not be vague. Okay. Then objectives must be precise and measurable. Okay. For example, you take the example of your career objective. You may be having a career objective. So your objective should be precise and measurable. That is, you should have an objective while you are pursuing your degree, BCom degree. Your objective is to get a 95% of mark in your degree. So that is a precise and measurable. Measurable means if you get 90% mark in degree examination, that means there is variation. So it's a measurable, in quantifiable thing. So that is objective should be measurable and precise. And the next one is it should be result oriented and time bound. That means it should be result oriented. There should be a result from the objective, stated objective, and it should be time bound. Time bound means we may be having the objective of passing degree, BCom degree. So that means if you are taking 10 years to pass BCom degree, then that objective is not having a time boundness. So every objective should have a time boundness. That is a specific time allotment should be there. Okay, so that is another thing. Then again should be mutually supportive also. That is we have already discussed that an organization can have more than one objective. So if an organization is having more than one objective, these objectives should be mutually supportive also. One objective should support the other objective. Then it must be attainable and realistic. So attainable and realistic means an organization is setting an objective of for example, if BSNL is having an objective of offering telecom network all over the world, or Reliance Jio is having an objective of getting 500 crore subscribers around the globe. It may not be realistic. It is not at all a realistic thing. As we know, nowadays SpaceX, Amazon, that's Blue Origin, all these companies are coming out with the networking or internet from space. That is satellite based networking is innovation is coming out. And at present, if Reliance Jio is having such a objective, it is not a realistic thing. So we should once we set an objective, it should be realistic. Realistic objectives and attainable objectives only should be set up. Okay, so if you such a type of the objectives should be attainable and realistic also. Then it should be acceptable to the employees also. Okay, the objectives that are set by the organization should be acceptable and should be welcomed by the employees, and must have a social sanction also. That is, the objectives that are against the society and against the basic ethics of the society should not be taken as the objective of the business organization. So now we will discuss about the hierarchy of objectives. So we already told that there is in the characteristics of objectives we have discussed. I have told you that is the objectives may have a hierarchy in an organization. So hierarchy means it's a rank. So in your family you may be having a hierarchy. That is your father is top, then your mother is there, your elder brother will be there. So such a hierarchy. In your college there is hierarchy, in your college there is a principal, then HOD, then class teacher. So such a hierarchy is there. So in a business organization also there is hierarchy. We all know there is a chairman, then board of director, then there is a general manager, then functional department manager, marketing manager. So such a way there is hierarchy. So the objectives also may have should have it's not compulsory that should have an hierarchy. These objectives can have this hierarchy. So you just come to the figure in your book, that is in figure 2.3 in your figure number 2.3 given in your book. You can just look into that. So in that figure you can see that is like Maslow's need hierarchy theory we have seen in our business management. There is a hierarchy given there. That is the overall organizational objectives is a topmost priority. Okay, that is most important thing. That is if you are working in an organization, you should be aware about the objectives of that organization. So you will be given objectives of the organization, and the most important, the most priority will be for the overall organizational objectives. That is the organizational objectives. That is the objective of the organization, or what the organization is striving to achieve. That is the organizational objective. So that is the most prioritized thing. And secondly comes the objectives of the key areas. Okay, that is a specific key areas in which the organization is targeting. So it may be expansion, market expansion, or it may be technology, such a technological expansions, advancements, such a way key areas the organization may have objectives. And there will be divisional objectives. Divisional objectives means divisional objective means for finance department there will be some objective, for marketing department there will be some objective, such a way there will be divisional objectives. Then there is a departmental objectives. Okay, similarly each department may have, that is sometimes each branches may be having certain objectives. There are different, for example, for banks or LIC or like that, there will be different departments or branches, and they may be having different objectives. So that comes the next, that is in the topmost the organizational objective is there, and the hierarchy is going downward like this. And next comes the group objectives. Group objective means each group there will be some groups inside the departments, and that groups may have different objectives, that is having the less priority than the departmental objectives. And there then comes the unit or individual objectives. That is I may be having, I will take an example. So I am an individual. I am working at St. George's College Arivithura as an assistant professor. So I am as an individual, I have some objectives. It may be my career progression, or my higher studies, or such and such, or my salary. All these things are my individual preferences and objectives. So for which I am striving, or for which I am working. So that is the least important thing when I am in an organization, St. George's College Arivithura. That is an individual objective, and that is the least prioritized thing. From the viewpoint of an organization, from the viewpoint of a business organization, or from the viewpoint of an organization, it's the least important thing. Or it's a least in the hierarchy, it comes in the bottom. Then there will be group objectives. So I belong to many groups. So I am part of many groups in the college. So I may be I am part of certain cells, committees, or like that. Certain groups are there. So that objectives comes it's more higher in the higher. Look, you can see in the hierarchy of that in the figure given in your book. You can see the group objectives come ahead of this individual objectives, or in top to the this individual objectives. This group objectives come. Then next comes the departmental objectives. So even if I am in the certain groups, I belong to a department. I belong to commerce department. So that comes again top of my group objectives. So even if I am part of many committees or like that, it is less prioritized than the departmental objectives. You should understand like that. Then there is divisional objectives. So there are certain divisions in the college or institution. So they may be having that is more important. Then again, in the top it comes the overall organizational objective. Or overall organizational objective means it's the objective of the college, St. George's College Arivithura. It is having a precise objective for which it is functioning. That is a well-being of the society, well-being of the students, and upliftment of the society, servicing to the society. So these are the overall organizational objective for which the St. George's College Arivithura is striving or trying to achieve. So that is the most important thing for which I also should work hard. So that is the most important thing for me also. As from the viewpoint of an institution, that is the most important thing. So this is the hierarchy of objectives that you should understand. Then next is the importance of objectives. So when we come to the importance of objectives, first thing is that they help in legitimizing the existence of an organization. So that's one important thing regarding the objectives. Then second thing is that facilitate delegation and decentralization. So through these objectives, the proper delegation is possible. So once the objectives are set and given to the subordinates or to the people, the organization can run smoothly. Then third thing is that they serve as a basis for the formulation of policies, strategies, procedures, and other plans. So these objectives are the main focus area of an organization, and from these objectives the strategies and other plans originate. Okay, all other things originate from these objectives of an organization, and on the basis of the objectives all other things are to be done in an organization. Then next one is to next importance is of objectives is they help to develop an integrated structure or network of plans. So on the basis of this objectives, an integrated structure or network of plans can be constructed. Then objectives also stimulate the employees to work hard, and actually they can be innovative also by through these objectives. So since there are objectives, well set up objectives are there, and by using or by with the help of these objectives, our organization can work smoothly. The employees also can work smoothly, and they promote coordination also. So actually, if there is a proper objective, well laid down objectives actually support coordination. That is a proper coordination can be effectively implemented in an organization by means of these objectives. And also the objectives are performance standards. They help to check and control the actual performance. So I have already told you, that is you have an objective that is to secure 95% mark in your degree. So that is an objective. So that's actually a performance standard, and that can be used for evaluating your performance. Yourself you can evaluate. So that is another importance of these objectives. So with that, we are coming to the end of the first multi-use plan. So as we started here is the different types of plans. We started today's session with the different types of plans, and first one was so different types of plans. When we discuss about these different types of plans, we have already seen there are two types of plans, that is a multi-use and single-use plan, and the various multi-use plans are objectives, strategies, policies, procedures, and rules. And now we have completed the discussion regarding objectives. That's one kind of multi-use plan. Next we are going to strategies. Strategies are another type of multi-use plans. So actually, what is strategy? Strategy is something that is that we do to overcome the or to face the competition. Okay, so actually they are actually plans of action for the use of resources to achieve the objectives of an organization. So every organization have an objective, and to achieve that objective, an organization should use its resources in a most competent way. And for using the resources in the most competent way, an organization should have a very different kind of planning. So that kind of planning is known as the strategies. Actually, the strategies are formulated by the top management and it is given to the lower level employees, and actually the strategies give a competitive advantage for the business organization, because if an organization is not having a strategy, then the competitors will be able to easily defeat the business organization. So therefore in every key area, a business organization should have a strategy. That is, for fixing the price, the organization should have a strategy. So in recruitment, the organization will be having a strategy. Okay, in financial planning or financial resource mobilization, the business organization should have a strategy, because the other organization, because in a competitive market, to withstand the competition, strategies are very important and significant. So now we will come to the importance of these strategies. Actually, these strategies serve as a long-term guide towards the achievement of the objectives of an organization, and they ensure efficient and effective utilization of the organizational resources, and helps an organization to facing all environmental challenges. So every organization is running in an environment which is uncertain. So we know every day there are different changes, different kind of changes and risks that a business organization face. So in order to withstand this risk in the environment, in order to withstand the competition in the environment or the uncertainties in the environment, a business organization should adopt a strategy, and that is actually very much important for the existence of a business organization also. So again, this another importance of these strategies is that they helps in increasing the firm's strength to face the competition and facilitates coordination among the different departments. and it simplifies the control by prescribing the broad standards of performance also. Actually, they are also similar to objectives, but it is not objective. And a strategy is different from objective in the way that it's a unique thing, and in the case of a strategy, a business will be using a cutting edge plan, that is to overcome the environmental challenges, to overcome the competition from the competitor. The business organization will be using some certain plans or some kind of intelligence business organization will be using. That is the strategy. So that is the relevance and importance of this strategy also. Next is the steps in strategy formulation. So when we come to the steps in strategy formulation, while we prepare the strategy, the first thing we should do is the determination of the objectives. So why we want to prepare a strategy? That's the first question that we should answer. So why there should be a strategy, or in which area we should have a strategy? So that should be identified first of all before we go for preparation of this strategy. Next one is environmental analysis. So when we go for preparation of a strategy, we should analyze the environment in which we exist. That means the business environment in which the business operates. Business should analyze the challenges that it is facing, the environmental risk that the business organization is facing. So all these things should be analyzed before preparation of the strategy. Then next is a self-appraisal. Self-appraisal means evaluation of the strengths and weaknesses that the business organization is having, and the competitive edge a business organization have. So that is a self-appraisal system. So by means of this self-appraisal, actually business organization can realize its power and strength and weaknesses, and it can adopt to that by using certain strategies that are to be formulated. Then the strategic decision making is the next step in strategy, in the strategy formulation process. So the strategy formulation process, the most important step is this strategic decision making. That is the decision that is to be taken. What is strategic decision making? Strategic decision making means the decision that others are not able to make. That is strategic decision making. So we all make many kind of decisions in our daily life, but a decision that give us a competitive edge over the others is known as actually a strategic decision. Okay, so a decision that give us a competitive edge over the competitor is a strategic decision. So that kind of decision should be taken in case of these strategies. So that is the next step. And the last one is the strategy implementation and control. So once this strategy is formulated, it should be implemented. That strategy should be implemented, and if there is a deviation from the set strategy, it should be evaluated, and control should be exercised. For example, a business organization have taken a strategic decision to, okay, I will give you another example for understanding this decision making process. I think it will give you more precise understanding about this steps in strategy formulation. For example, I will take Reliance Jio again, because I think it's a very common example for me. Anyway, I will give you that example once again. So you will, I think by using this example, you could understand what is this strategy formulation. So when we take this Reliance Jio, so when in 2014 or 15, during which period, during that period when Reliance Jio was planning to launch the 4G network or LTE network, they actually what they did was, actually it was a strategy. They adopted a strategy, they deployed a strategy, and before deploying that strategy, that is the strategy was to win the market in which there is a perfect competition, and that before deploying that strategy, they went through these steps. That is, first one is they were having an objective. First thing was their determination objective was there. Second thing was their environmental analysis. That is, Reliance Jio went for an environmental analysis. That is, they analyzed the competition in the market. Again, they did a self-appraisal. That is, what is their competitive advantage? That is, Reliance Jio have realized that they are the only company having the LTE network during that time. And next thing was strategy decision making. The strategic decision making that Reliance Jio made was the pricing regarding the free calls and free calls along with the fast network. Then the last one was the strategy implementation control. They implemented the strategy, that is free calls and free SMS along with the internet connectivity or package, and they implemented that decision, that strategy, and they did the control also. They controlled the strategy. That is strategic formulation was under the control, or they used that strategy for controlling also. Okay, so in such a way, this steps in strategy formulation was or steps in strategy formulation is to be executed. So now we will go to the next multi-use plan that is commonly used in business organizations or entities are these policies. Policies actually are an answer to some kind, certain kind of, or most kind of uncertainties in an organization. Actually, policies are gates to action, and they provide a broad answer or a broad guideline to how the objective of an organization are to be achieved. Okay, so actually a policy is a continuing decision, and it provides the answer to problems of certain type also. So that is a peculiarity of a policy. So every business organization will have a policy. So even a nation also will have a policy. For example, India is having its own foreign policy. We know that India is a democratic republic nation, and it's having its own foreign policy. So again, we know Kerala state government. State government is also having its own policies in key areas. So it's a policy. It's policy. There will be a policy. It's a uniform thing that will be applicable in that particular area. That is a solution or answer, single answer for many problems. Actually, policies are like that. So the government of Kerala is having the policy of retaining the public sector entities. So it's a policy of state government. But central government is having the policy of disposing the public sector undertaking. That's the policy of the central government. So each organization, each government, each entity, business entity, organizations will have its own policies. Okay, so university, MG University is having its own policies regarding examination, its own policies regarding fees. Okay, so these are actually the common thing that is adopted by the entity or business organization. Actually, the policies may be described as plans which serve as a broad guide to decisions and actions in the firm. So on the basis of these policies, a business entity can or organization can easily take decision. That is a advantage of these policies. Again, we will policies are made according to the assumptions, objectives, and forecasts. And recruitment policies there, promotion policies there, transfer policy are some examples of policy that are commonly adopted in a business organization. So I will tell you one example. It's this transfer policy. So Kerala government is having a transfer policy. Okay. Then what is the transfer policy? The transfer, or not only Kerala government, there's certain banks or most organizations have a transfer policy. That is, once the employee is posted in a rural area, after 3 years of service in rural area, he will be given a place near to his home, or he will be posted in a urban area. That is a common transfer policy adopted by many organizations. So once a civil servant serve in a rural area, he will be given urban area. Again, another policy is that yet another promotion. There is promotion policy. So the promotion policy of many public sector banks are like that. That is, once the employee is promoted, he will be transferred. So once an employee get a promotion, he will get a transfer also from his present post or his present branch or his present assignment. That is a promotion policy adopted by many public sector undertaking or banks. So such a way, these are policies. These are the policies that are commonly used. Now we will see what are the need and importance of these policies. Policies give practical shape to objectives and to converting them into concrete terms, and policies are actually necessary for providing uniform pattern of action of various organizational points. So actually these policies help to have a uniform action in organization and organizational decisions, and they facilitate delegation of authority also. So because of these policies, this once the policy is set, the lower level subordinates can easily take decision. Okay, so that is the advantage of these policies. For example, now recently, government of Kerala is having the policy of going for online classes. So that's the policy of Kerala government. So the lower level, so that is a policies well laid down by government of Kerala. Therefore all the people in education sector can easily take the decision to go for education through online media. They can use the well prescribed education system, that is an online education system, and they can carry over their activities with regard to that online system. Again, this policies speed up decision making. So since the policies are already well laid down, it will be able, the lower level employees or the executing authority will be able to make speedy decisions regarding this in an organization. Again, they help both the superiors and subordinates to work for a better performance. So this surely this policies will facilitate better performance, and policies provide guidelines for thinking and action, and they facilitate administrative control in providing a rational basis for evaluating the results, and also policies ensure effective coordination of efforts and activities in the organization. So because of this policy, well laid down policy, so business organization and entities can have a streamlined activity in an organization. Now we are going to the different types of policies. So there are different types of policies on the basis of its origination or its deployment or like that. So we will see one by one the different types of policies that are commonly seen. So the first one is originated policy. So originated policy is the policy that is originated from the top level. So such type of policies are known as this originated policy. So for example, in our college, we are having, there are so many originated policies. So there is the policy regarding the discipline. It's a originated policy from the top level, that is from the principal's level. So what should be done, should not be done, that's a policy by the, that is a policy for not only for students, it's for the maintenance of discipline by everyone. That is, every member of the institution should abide by the rules or policies that are well laid down by the institution. That is regarding this discipline, that is when the teachers should come, when the teachers should start the class, how the teacher should take the class, then when the students should behave in the class. So all these things are well laid down, and that is originated policy, that is given from the top level. So that is a originated policy. Then next one is appealed policy. So whenever there is a need for when there is a appeal from the part of the lower level, there comes a need for a policy, and then a policy will be formulated by the top level. Such type of policies are known as a appealed policy. That is, for example, in certain cases, particular circumstances, that lower level subordinates will ask some clarifications to the top level, and the top level may not be having a policy regarding that. Okay, recently, one recent thing, that is I will tell you, recently some companies in India or from abroad came registered in India and requested for registration, and then that for example, Tesla registered in India, and they have asked for granting the license or registration for their vehicles in India. But when this Tesla company approached the motor vehicle department, that is in the lower level, okay, they were not able to answer whether they can give registration for Tesla's autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles are not common in India, and Tesla came to the approached the motor vehicle department in certain states, and they asked for registration. The concerned authorities are not having it is a new thing, that is autonomous vehicles are new to India, so the government is not able to clarify or give license or registration for such vehicles. So then now the government of India is working with the policy formulation of regarding these autonomous vehicles. Okay, so again this now this lower level when the pandemic, during the period of COVID, that is before the COVID period, we were not having online education. But when there is when this COVID after the arrival of COVID, the teachers or students started to teach and learn through online medium, and when there was troubles faced by the students and teachers during their classroom interactions, some kind of complaints or things have gone to the authorities, and now the government is in the working on with the formulation of policies regarding online education also. Okay, so that is an appealed policies, because such kind of appeals came from the lower level or subordinates or down, and then the superiors are now working on, or superiors are then formulating policies with regard to that. Such type of policies are known as appealed policies. Then there are imposed policies. So imposed policies are actually that is imposed by some external forces. For example, in our college we have imposed policy with regard to anti-ragging policies there. So anti-ragging policy is imposed by UGC. University Grants Commission have imposed a policy, is having a policy regarding ragging, and if there is a ragging, the policy that is well prepared by the UGC has to be adopted, and such actions has to be taken by the college as per the instruction or policy by the UGC. So it's an imposed policy, that is UGC is the external agency, and UGC is imposing its policy on every higher education institution in India. Next is implied policies. So actually implied policies are the policies that are not actually clearly stated, and they are not written, and they are actually also not in verbal, but it is like that. So it's a custom. So that is the implied policy. So we know that actually we all know to respect your teachers. You respect the teachers because it is not every time none of the teachers will ask you to respect us, or when the teachers arrive, or when you see your elders, you stand up, and such activities are from actually it's a policy that is a implied policy. Or when an elder or when a physically challenged enter a bus, some of us will give a seat, or when see a person that in a trouble, we will help. So it's not an implied thing. Helping them is not implied, but voluntarily we do it. So such a policy is known as a implied policy. So it's not verbally or written. It's not given, but we will do like that. So such a policy is known as a implied policy. Then next is a type of policy, written and unwritten policies. There are policies that are written in advance. It is written and in written words and given to us. But there are some other policies, they are not written, but they are verbal. So our parents will actually tell us so many things. We will follow that as per their instruction. So that they are verbal policy. So when you go to a religious place, how to behave, it's a verbal instruction will be given to you by your elders or parents. So that's actually I think none of us are following the policies that are written in some religious places. We are actually following the policy or we are abiding by the policy that are given us by verbal instruction by somebody. So such a policies are known as a verbal policy, and that's the difference between written and verbal policy or unwritten policy. Next is this steps in policy formulation. So for the formulation of policy, we should follow the following steps. That is, first one is definition of the policy area. First of all, we should identify or define the area in which the policy is required. So for a business organization which needs a well-established policy, actually it should define the policy area. Okay, so recently I told you now there is no specific policy regarding online education. How to follow the online education, how to take online class. There is no well laid down policy. But now the government is working on it and is working on it and is trying to formulate a policy. So what the government will do, first of all, it will define the policy area. Policy area means education. So in education there are various sub areas and it will identify and it will be identified and explored, and that is the process going on. That is the definition of defining of the policy area, that is education. Second one is a generation of the policy alternatives. So there are so many policy alternatives. Alternative means there is if you take the example of education, online education, there are many alternatives. There is online, offline, then Google Meet, then YouTube. So many alternatives are there. So all these areas are to be explored and generated. Okay. Then next one is evaluation of the alternatives. All these alternatives are to be identified. So for a virtual education, so many alternatives are there, and all these are to be evaluated. How this virtual education can be done, what are the merits, demerits, these are to be in such an evaluation should be there. Then next is the choice of the policy. Actually, after this evaluation of the policy, the most appropriate and most useful policy is to be selected. So for regarding the behavior, regarding the operation of the camera, regarding the attendance marking, there should be different dimensions and different areas, and all these areas should be identified and evaluated, and the best suited thing or policy regarding these areas should be selected or chosen. Now next thing is a communication of the policy. Once these policies are selected, these things are to be communicated. That is to the students, to the teachers. That is for, if you take the example of this online education, once the government formulate or university formulate this policy, it will be communicated or should be communicated, properly communicated to the students and teachers and the education academic issues. So that is the next step. Then next is the application of the policy. So once it is communicated, it should be applied. That is if the government is or a university is coming with the policy that for getting internal marks, attendance in online class is 90% attendance is essential. If that's a policy of university, it will be applied. That means those who don't have 90% attendance in online class will not be allowed to write exam. So it may be a policy. It may come out as a policy. So it will be implemented. That is people who don't have attendance below people who don't have attendance 90% attendance will not be allowed to write the exam. So that will be implemented. Then next is policy review and appraisal. So next one is policy review and appraisal. That means it will be this policy once that is set will be evaluated. That is whether it is useful, whether it is creating difficulties, and it will be evaluated, and that it will be appraised. Appraised means the applicability will be evaluated and given score. That is the last step in this policy. Now we are coming to the fourth kind of multi-use plan, that is a procedure. So from the word itself we know what is a procedure. So everything usually the things that are commonly handled in a business organization or entity will have a procedure, will be followed as a procedure. Okay, so that is it will be well written and communicated, so that it will be followed in every organization regarding certain activities or events. So that is a peculiarity of a procedure. So commonly this procedure, the word procedure is commonly followed in, I think it's in a medical field. So for example, I will give you a simple example. So I don't know whether you have noticed or not. When you when you are in hospitals, before giving checking our blood pressure, the nurses usually follow a procedure. Okay, every nurse everywhere in the world follow a common procedure. Again, in while giving you an injection, they follow a procedure. Okay, similarly, there is a common procedure for in banking field. When you go to banks, there's a procedure there, common procedure that we can see. If you want to withdraw money, you will we will give the check that is signed by us, and what the bank staff will do, they will check the signature, amount, money, date, all these things, and they will give us the money. So there's a procedure. So when you go for a post office, go to a post office for sending a speed post, there is a procedure, common procedure is there. That is, they will first of all check the weight of the parcel, and they will tell us the amount, and they will buy the money, and they will stick a sticker or a speed post sticker is there that will be pasted, and they will give us a printout of the receipt. So that's a procedure. So when you go for a textile shop, there is a procedure. You will go to the textile counter, you will check the dress, and you will give the salesman. The salesman will give that to the cash counter. From the cash counter, you will pay the money. Then from the cash counter, that will go to the delivery counter. From delivery counter, you will get the after paying the bill, you will get the parcel item that we have purchased from the textile shop. So it's a procedure. So that is a peculiarity of this procedure. Actually, these procedures are for handling the regular events, the regular things that is going on in an organization. So the advantages is that actually it minimizes the burden of decision making every time, and ensures the uniformity of action, and increases the coordination, and the procedures simplify the workflow. So if you go for a textile shop, every time there is nobody to tell the staff, you come to this way, that way, everything is going smoothly. So when you go to a hotel, you can see there is a procedure is going on. What is the procedure? First of all, one person will come and give us if you go to Indian coffee house, one person will come and give you one bottle of one cup of water, and they will take the order. They will go and give us the what we have ordered. They will bring us, and after that person itself will give you the bill, and we will go to the counter, and you will pay the bill, and you can go home. So that's a procedure is there. So there is no confusion, and the work is going on smoothly every time the people are coming. So in similar way, in a bus also, there's a procedure. When a double bell is given, the bus will run. When a single bell is given, the bus will stop. Yes, the driver know that what is the symbol. Again, the conductor know how to operate the door. All these things are well procedured. That is the peculiarity of a procedure. So it's a well planned things are going on inside the organizations. So actually, procedures simplify the workflow and provides a good standard for the manager to appraise the employees, and they serve as a tool of managerial direction also. So that's the peculiarity of these procedures. And lastly, we are coming to the fifth kind of multi-use plans. So we were discussing about the multi-use plans. So the fourth one was procedure, and last one is rules. Actually, what is rule? Rules are the simplest and most specific type of standard plans. They are used for guiding what may or may not be done. So there are rules for you also in your college also. So rules are actually things that are instructions that what one should do and should not do. Now at the time of this pandemic also, there are certain rules. You should wear a mask, you should wear double mask, you should wash the hands. So actually there are plans, well written plans, or well set plans that one should follow, or instructions that one should compulsorily follow. So in college or in every entity there will be rules. In institutions, any business organization also have rules. When you go for driving, you should follow the traffic rules also. So rules are also plans that actually rules facilitate discipline and uniformity of action in an organization also. So that is another type of multi-use plan, that is the rules. So with that, we are winding up the different types of multi-use plans. Now in short, we have today seen, or in this session we have seen the different types of plans. So there are multi-use plans and single-use plans. So multi-use plans that we discussed now in this session is objectives, strategies, policies, procedures, and rules. And in the next session, we will see about single-use plans, that is programs, budgets, schedules, projects, and methods. So I am winding up. Thank you all.